Okie dokie. Safid calls it out here with what's next for the Dragon Man. A Transmuter? A Zerker? Maybe even a Venom Mage? Trying Earth again? It'll work this time for sure. I am very much tempted to go for the Earth approach again here, if just because I want to use the name that you so lovely selected for us earlier. So, why not? Give it the old college try here. Quick stretch. Venom Mages I do really like. That was probably my next most tempting option. Sucks when you run into a couple of specific enemies early game that give you a lot of trouble in that department. But in general, you get a lot of very cool tools, including OTR and Ignite Poison capabilities in the future, which I do love me some of that. But I think we will decide to stick with Earth Elementals one more. We'll believe this is the one. And in a name befitting of such positivity, of such, what's the opposite of pessimism? Optimism. There we go. Such optimism, a name like Dream shall be chosen, and a dream this Draconian shall be. Putting an end to the nightmares of the past and putting to rest the souls of their antecedents. You see, learning new words today. Heck yeah. And so our journey begins into the depths once more. Make sure we set up all of our skills. We'll even remember to set up our pickups right off the bat this time. And on top of it, hitting all of the targets, ticking all of the boxes, I'm also going to remember to get that character dump right off the bat. Make sure that everyone can, I was going to say lose along with us, but more likely and embarrassingly, I'm guessing most of you would win on those seeds, so maybe don't play on any of those previous ones, just this one's fine, thank you. And we'll quickly switch that out on the screen here. Old seed, goodbye. New seed, hello. Also, this is a long boy, so we've got to make sure it's all in frame. Looks like it, looking good. You know, on the tail end of Bill Fink's scenario here, the player characters will have to decide what to do with the bacteria that has horrifically murdered the whole colony. Very cool, and I like that there is a bit of nuance there, because it's not the bacteria's fault. I mean, human colony probably would have done the same to them. It's a who shot first kind of scenario. Everyone's kind of at fault. But no, very cool. Love the moral quandaries. Definitely makes for an interesting story, and there are a lot of directions that your players can take that, which is the most important part, is giving freedom to all the players to make their own story and see where the world takes them. Jeez Louise, we're off to a rough start here with all these armed gobbies right on our doorstep, but let's just waste a lot of our starting rocks. Take out any of the ones with weapons. Ouch, kind of stepped right into that one. Stepped forward right as the club came smacking into our face. But what's your max here? 5 damage plus the club. That's a little bit scarier than I would like, so let's just poke dance for a bit. We can just chat. How's your day? How's it going? Who knows how long we'll have to do this, because mana comes back fast, but health unfortunately takes a little bit longer here. You know what? We'll risk it with that. Yeah, I was feeling a little risk. Why does this happened a few runs ago? I think one of the very first runs of DCSS. For whatever reason, whenever I want to say that we embrace risk, that we approach risk with open arms, my brain just supplies me with risk averse. That's the opposite of what you want to say. Thanks, brain, you did it. You're right. And you recognized right away that what you thought of was wrong. So that's good, I guess, but it'd be nice if I could just actually think of the word that I want to say there, maybe? One of these days, maybe, just maybe, my own brain will decide how it should run itself and not just be a confusing mess at all times. But okie dokie. Start of a new journey here. Going okay so far. Don't want to put too many hopes and dreams up in the air yet. It's usually around D3 that I like to start getting those up so that they'll hit their high just in time to be absolutely crushed by the end of lair. But we'll see how it goes. Who knows? This run very much could be the run. We have Safid's belief on our side. We have Brain saying live in the dream. Another believer in the cause here. So maybe, just maybe, with the support in chat, we can pull through. Dream will have what it takes to bring... I don't know. I was trying to think of a clever way to incorporate his name and something else into the title, but I didn't want to just say Dream, and now I'm just mumbling away, not making much sense at all. So it's the worst of both worlds. Yay! Way to go, me. So I guess what I should have done, and probably should have done earlier, is just segue away from that thought, and instead do my usual segue is just to talk about how the run's doing, I guess. So the easiest save. Running low on rocks. That's not great, but I guess in all seriousness, we're trying to get everything back on track in the narration here instead of lost in the sauce. I do believe in the dream, and I believe in the supporters that are going to get us through this. You all give me the faith to believe in myself. Your belief in me allows me to have belief in myself. That's not a very lovely way to put that. Not a very linguistically pleasant way, but that's fine. I guess it's just not in the cards for me today. I keep struggling and reaching to say fancy things and not grasping them. Brain's a little on autopilot in general today, I guess. And I feel like I make that excuse every week, and well, not totally being false even in that regard, because I do feel that second I get in front of a camera here, mine just goes blank. It's funny how many plans I can have going into a stream where I'm like, oh, character, this species, this background, oh, this clever name. I thought of this hilarious joke name that I gotta put on that character. And then when I find myself actually in the on stream here, I should say, it's just immediately gone from the head, and we're just on the spot, flying by the seat of our pants, trying my best to just keep the chatterbox moving here. Sometimes to catastrophic results, but hey, that's what happens anytime we roll the dice here, right? Just gotta live with myself, I guess. Wait a second, you can kill me in one hit. Almost can kill me in one hit. Very important distinction. Oh, but you also... Hey, you slow me because I'm a Draconian. So remember how Dream was supposed to be the one that changed it all? The promised child? When he dies, Dream.exe has stopped working. Very true. Do you know what? Just gotta risk it. Sandblast to the face. Dreams never die. Dreams never die, and that's 2 levels under our belt just for that. Oh. Well, that's definitely a small victory to enjoy there. Maybe not a deserved victory, seeing as how we just went toe-to-toe with an ice beast at a very inappropriate level here for our character, but hey, I'll take it and reap the benefits of the vast amount of experiences drawn from the experience that we endured, I guess. No complaints here. And perfect. Before I head back down, what I'm thinking is that maybe this time around we'll also try and get a bit more of an earlier jump on our unidentified objects, I guess, as it were, here. So before we have a deity, we can check out the necklace. Perfect. Not faith anyway, so I guess it wouldn't matter. And a necklace of reflection is fairly handy in the early game here. And another ring of ice. That might be our new thematic item of all the runs today. Can't make it through without the old ring of ice in the back pocket. I guess can't make it through with it either, but that's neither here nor there. This run will do so. And I guess part of getting to that point would probably be learning some of these other spells. No, not quite at the point yet, I guess. But Stone Arrow will be on the menu here, along with Lee's Rapid Deconstruction. Maybe learning that one a little bit too early. It's quite a ways off from being castable at the very least here, but I think I'll still take it. We'll even set Conjurations to a nice low 4, but not actually turn it on yet. Now that I've given it a moment's more thought, I do want to get Earth cranked up just a wee bit more before we start diversifying our fields of experience here. And we fell into a shaft and dropped 2 floors. Whoop, whoop. But hopefully, I mean, right next to a stair, not bad. And then D3 and D2 are both equally as ridiculously scary for a starting character. No! Why, you dang old Knoll? I was so proud of the fact that we might make it to these stairs before any of this nonsense found us. Still might. Never mind. Dreams never die. Oh, geez Louise. And then they also somehow got distracted or lost out on 2 energy? I mean, I'll take it. Run. And what do we do instead here? Sandblast is still our only real option. Can I take even 2 Knolls? Okay, I can take at least 2 Knolls. Me, oh my, what an adventure we find ourselves in. Do you love the excitement I get from any old shaft that we drop down? Sure, it may end our run sometimes, but every time we'll have a blast trying to figure out what the heck we do to make it through. And... ooh, don't like that. It's always a pain in the butt when you get that first shot in on a monster and then their first step takes them out of sight. So you know that they are getting closer to you, but unfortunately not in a way that allows you to actually continue to take advantage of your distance. Ever done that one that starts on D5? The Delver? No, I haven't actually. Not had the opportunity to try out that background yet. And in fact, that probably would have been a pretty solid fit for today, where we're not currently on any kind of winning streak and totally okay with running slightly riskier plays. But, I mean, the day is not over yet, don't get me wrong. Could still have another start, maybe the next Draconian, since Draconian is going to be the species that I spend the rest of my life trying to get past. One of the simple species, and yet my dumb brain just can't stick with it long enough here. And Grinder. It's another scary unique to find at this stage in the game here. And surely you can only hit 1 shaft per game. That's a rule, right? I'm pretty sure that's even an unwritten code. And I'm pretty sure all computer programs respect unwritten code. It's totally a thing, so agreed. We're absolutely safe from all future shafts. You heard it here first, folks. And I don't like being proved to be a liar game, so don't do that either. That's no good. And onwards we go. Putting our faith and trust in that single fact. Hit shafts only strike once. I'm pretty sure that's one of the most famous idioms in the world, is shafts only hit the same place once. Everyone knows that. And do I have anything else to throw up against Grinder here to make sure we get through this in one piece? I don't love letting her just approach me while I try and get into range here. You have to be resistant to poison, right? Yeah, unfortunately you are. Son of a gun. Well, let's head to the stairs. And do I want to fight you? Pain, paralysis is really good odds of hitting us. You know what, let's head up. Oh, never mind. We got paralyzed just on our way up. Okay, we're safe, we're safe, we're swipe. Just swipe left, easy. That easy, huh? Silly old me overcomplicating things over here. Just swipe left on Grinder here. I guess did Grinder use the swiping left and swiping right mechanic as well? Definitely was all the rage at the time, and I know that in terms of just straight functionality, there are fairly strong parallels between Grindr and Tinder, so it would make sense, right? Nice. Okay, made it through the batch, starting to array quite a few foes at the other side of the gates here, but as long as there is not an orc priest, I'm not too scared. Ooh, and we get something a little bit different today. We get a lurid green coloring to our scales. So now learning poison magic faster and poison breath, both of which is pretty solid. Poison resistance alone is worth its weight in gold for making our way through the first couple branches of the game, so that's pretty awesome. And we did end up learning poison magic quicker, or we do end up learning poison magic quicker, which begs the question, even without a Venom Mage start, that is maybe something we should work our way into the field of. Especially if we're able to get our hands on a spellbook containing Oxglebs, Olgrebs? Oh gosh. It's like Iscarendum. I don't have no idea how to say any of these dang old wizard names when I actually try and do it without it in front of me. That is fine. Billing says, damn, I died in your Rogue Empire run. Sorry to hear it. Your troll soul reaver will be missed, I'm sure. By loved ones and family. But there will always be another time. Such is the way. Yeah, no, I was thinking of Olgreb's Toxic Radiance Brain, and I should have finished my sentence too. Instead of just getting completely caught up on the Olgreb, Oxgleb, how do you pronounce, what the, what the how did, who did? But probably won't be the last time I get caught up on a wizard's name. Those wizards are always doing their best to get us all tongue twisted up here. And more to the point, I guess, that is in fact the spell that we are looking so desperately for. Or would love to see, I guess, is the better way to put that. So, okay. It's kind of fitting. I was about to mention that I saw the Ellie altar while we were making our way through, but I didn't see a second altar. Where was the second? And it's fitting because it's a shadowy altar of Dithmenos. Of course I didn't see it. It was hidden in the shadows of the dungeon, of course. But neither of which are that interesting to us, so I think we'll continue our journey. Head on down. Rain says that OTR and refrigeration are amazing. Yeah, no, definitely refrigeration made our run on our merfolk because we were having so many issues in the mid game there with just not quite getting anything that was powerful in the fields that we had chosen to stick to. Until finally, when we got Ozokubu's refrigeration, it was definitely a game changer there. A little bit hard to get used to. I do find myself in situations where I really could use a potion, and it was probably a poor idea to prevent myself from doing so. But as long as you are cognizant of that fact, keep that in your mind, then it's an amazing spell for sure. Anything that, I guess, hits full screen on its own is pretty satisfying to use, if not powerful in its own right. But, quite the eclectic mix in this shop. Could afford 3 of these random scrolls. Could get some uki pots. get some Lukwat Sirov. Don't get me wrong, they all sound pretty good to me. Lialalued? I'm gonna get Lialalued and Osapenio Equage. That's definitely a good scroll as well. So we'll grab one of those bad boys right off the cusp. Oh, and we actually have enough money for another. So Rax Sigovic. Yeah, let's go with Rax Sigovic. Yeah, that seems like a good one to me. Good family name, you know? Good strong name. But let's take those bad boys upstairs. We do find ourselves with an excess of scrolls at this stage, so it's about time we actually took advantage of that a wee bit, shall we? Hopefully these 8 are identify, and they should be. They are indeed. First one goes on that fancy new artifact ring. Contamination, Dex +7, Stealth -. So this just contaminates us when we take it off. So it's essentially a Dex +7 ring that I can never take off, of course, without potentially catastrophic side effects. 7 Dex is kind of nice in the early game. A little bit more evasion. Is it also 2 hit? I think it does pretty solid once another to hit with melee weapons. We'll think about it while we finish identifying. Finish going through a few more of the options here. And in fact, we'll even do the usual inscribing on our identify scrolls. Oh. And, oh, I see. I inscribed it wrong, so let's change that to @R1 instead of R@1. Perfect. That just makes it a little bit easier for us. We can just hit R, then the 1 key. And we can blow through some of these higher stack potions, maybe heal wounds. No, not looking like it today. Well, we'll go through one more scroll. We have 2 more identify. Yeah, we can toss one more down the pipe here, down the old hatch. And I'm feeling pretty good about an amethyst potion. Frig. Oh, actually, I forgot. To use my magic, I have to call the potion itself. So I should have called out what I wanted rather than just saying that this potion is what I want. Silly, silly me. Well, next time we'll work our hacking magic on the game. But for now, we shall just continue with what we put together so far, thus far. Nothing but ants, huh? Somebody left a bunch of crumbs lying around this level, spilled their juice box. Scorpions honestly kind of still fit in the same category, so that doesn't even break my new headcanon very much. Okay, but backwards we go, just trying to find a nice little 3 wide here, because I want to know exactly where that invisible wizard is at all times, if possible, of course. Not always going to be the case, but it should be right there, or they should be, I should say. Could go with Curari, I guess? Ah, my breath weapon. There we go. That's the right call now that I give it a second thought here. Beautiful. Just confuse the ever-loving crap out of all these bad boys, especially the wizards. You'll love to see it. And, okay, the fight ended up going a little bit more sour once we got it down to the 1v1, but that's fine with me. Sandblast, and I'll be okay. And onwards we continue. Early Ashen'Zari. Ashen'Zari is definitely an interesting choice. Get some decent power off of cursing our own equipment. Especially considering the last time we took Ashen'Zari, we were not able to at all take advantage of the fact that she gives spellcasting experience, or I guess levels into your spellcasting skills for certain curses. Could be interesting, but I might keep it moving for now. Take either someone completely new or someone that ensures a bit more success on my end here, even though, of course, as we saw with the first run today, even picking my favorite deity does not the run make necessarily. There's always going to be an opportunity for me to toss it all away. But let's retreat a little bit with the priest in sight. Perfect. Got them to be our first hittable target. She'd love to see. And then we shall continue on. I feel like one thing that I have undervalued in every single one of our Draconian runs so far is our breath weapon. I find myself consistently forgetting that it even exists, which is no good because it is a highly useful little bit of damage, especially if you happen to be fighting something that is not completely immune to whichever elemental effects we ended up getting. So I'm hoping with the poison clouds, I'm a bit more used to checking to see whether monsters are poison resistant or not because of my love of the OTR Ignite Poison combo. And so maybe, just maybe, that will translate over to us remembering to at least think of our breath weapon as one of the potential possibilities in each and every one of our tricky fights here. We shall see. Centaur buddy, hey? Oh, and you don't cross deep water, do you? Hopefully this is the same centaur. Otherwise, we may find ourselves in another tricky fight right away. No, looks like it was indeed the same old thing. And onwards and upwards. Can I not go here? Yeah, that trap's not totally blocking us off, you silly goose. And let's mark some things down for the future. An uncursed ring of willpower. Pretty/fairly likely to come in handy at some point, especially considering some of the luck we've seen in that department in previous runs. Same with the See Invisible ring. And otherwise, though, we shall continue. Ooh. This looks like a temple entrance or something. No, maybe not. I'd love it if it was, but no, unfortunately, just a cool looking chamber is all. And I guess there's still no guarantee that we find the economical temple, not even for the next couple of floors, so we'll just have to be happy with whatever we get here. Ooh, another centaur. Try and grab this buddy's attention, bring them over on yonder. Lovely. And ooh, a buckler as well, you love to see. So we could maybe go a bit defensive earlier than usual this run. Let's check how our spells are coming along because that might inform that decision a little bit. Down 10% on LRD is close, but I do want that a little bit better because this will be our standard for quite a few of our areas in the mid-game on the run here. Of course, that's what I'm expecting. Who knows what we'll actually run into. But there we are. Floor 5 done. Still no temple. Oof. But maybe, just maybe, we can find it on the next floor here. And we find ourselves face to face with Pickle once more. I'm going to take this 10% chance of fail. 9% chance of fail now. Ooh, we've gone better. Oh no, I kill one of the lemurs. No. And I lied. We're just going upstairs. We're making everything that much riskier by leaving an enemy wandering about. But I cannot help but do my best to free the souls of the damned that have been unnecessarily corrupted by the influence of Pickle here. Just ain't right, you know? And so we shall do our best to redeem their souls, bring peace to their eternal rest, as it were. So let's be a wee bit careful here because Maggie could seduce us, or mesmerize, I guess. What's the difference, really? But it's definitely important because it cuts off our retreat from the stairs here, which we would not like to see. And she actually hits pretty freaking hard when she does. Oof. Bolt of Fire, that's the scariness, but the Morningstar, +2 Morningstar of Flaming could also do quite a chunk of change of our health here. You know, we got this, we got this. A few more Sandblasts, and actually I lied. Instead, we're just gonna take the White Imp upstairs. It's kind of ideal that Maggie ended up using her turn to cast a spell while the imp approached, because I was originally concerned that I'd accidentally take both of them on a trip with me. But this works out perfectly. There she is again. Woman of the hour, Maggie herself. In fact, let's take this fight upstairs, make sure that we have the retreat space available for us. There we go, not too shabby. May even keep this weapon around. Depending on what we run into in the future, it may actually come in handy. I can't wear these, right? Those still, yeah, still count as armor. It'd be kind of cool if I could wear dragon scales over my dragon scales. Like, what if the other dragon was slightly taller than me, you know? It just makes sense that I could, you know, kind of slip in. It's like those stages, you know, when you're molting? You know, you're all dragon people, you know this. When you're molting your skin, and you are kind of sitting inside of your own skin, it'd be like that, but instead I'd be wearing a different dragon skin. It makes sense, right? And there we go. We did also manage to get some LRD sniping in on Pickle there. Free the poor unfortunate souls from their accursed torment and bring peace to the 9 realms here. So, heck yeah, bud. Keep it moving. Oh my gosh, Pro Dragon Scales. That's not even fair, game. I always want to find these. One of my favorite items, just because they're so rare to come across in the games here. But of course, that's just how the dice are rolled here. Much like we found Lear's Hallberg last session, or last week, I should say, specifically. We, of course, will find ourselves in a similar karmic boat today. What an interesting little chamber. 3 different rooms, one of which is frightful and the other 2 a bit more standard. Oof. It'd be like wearing a suit of human skin, Makas. Wait, is that weird? Do you not all wear suits of human skin? Oh crap. I've outed myself. How embarrassing. But you do have a point there, I guess. I mean, would you wear, to further take that to its logical extreme here, do you think you would wear a human skin if you found yourself in a dungeon and it would protect you from almost certain death? So I gotta say, I'd probably wear the human skin. Wouldn't do it with a light heart. It would be extremely horrifying in so many ways, but anything for survival, right? And the dungeon is trying its best to kill us. Make no mistake on that count. But here we are, finally making our way to the economical temple, where we can make a decision on who could possibly bring us through all the way to the end here today. I mean, gun to my head, sure, exactly, but isn't delving into Zot pretty much just like having a gun at your head at all times, especially with the Zot clock now? Now it's just a gun with a little timer on it. If you don't keep delving down deeper, it's gonna go off. So, I don't know, it's a lose-lose situation. We're all in heck. Might as well try and get through it in one piece, is what I say. But as a Draconian myself, going through the dungeon, since I'm role-playing his dream here, of course, it's just the life that I've been brought up to live, as it were. But as for our DD here, my easiest option, at least in terms of comfort in playability here, but not usually on casters. Oh, pretty sure McLeb is who I'm speaking of down here. McLeb or Macleb is pretty solid on everyone. Healing on kills is pretty awesome for keeping myself alive. But we have been leaning towards some of the more spellcastery types, so it might be a nice opportunity to stick with our themes, stick with our guns until we get a victory here, because I don't think it's fair to blame Sif Muna for my previous losses as a Draconian. I think that's all on me. Sif's okay. She does her best, you know? So I think I'm gonna give her one more shot. And please, 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 Sifmuna. I really want absolute 0. In any form, because I should get Divine Exegesis, and then I want that delete button just as a potential option for the future. That seems fair, right? We're devoting our entire life to you, and you help us out with this one tiny thing, maybe, just maybe, please? Let's go for it. Maybe should give it some time, especially if anyone has strong opinions in chat. I do, again, enjoy taking suggestions and what people want, but we'll snap grab that. Sifmuna is our one true Lord and Savior here, and we'll do our best to make her proud as we continue through the dungeon here today. And let's in fact maybe take a moment to appreciate where we've gone ourselves to so far and maybe decide on some changes for the future. Earth magic should now be up at that solid stage where everything is fully castable. So let's at least slow it down a wee bit. Let's set spell casting to chill out at around 9 again. Really getting used to setting all these targets as we do it over and over. 8 for fighting. Shields actually is going to get a target right away at 5, and I might just crank shields right off the bat here. I think I like that idea. Give us a little bit more defensive staying power, and then we'll also learn Petrify. And this time around, instead of conjurations, I'm going to pop transmutations up a little, surprisingly enough. And we're going to see if I can get Petrify to be a little more consistent of a helping hand. Oh me, oh my. Would you look at that? It's a +8 Demon Blade Leech. Heck yeah, bud. I mean, Rage is horrible for us, but that's such a fun weapon. I do really like this, buddy. So we'll at least pick it up. Can't leave an unrandart like that just lying around. Be a shame too bad to do so. Let's finish these buddies off. And then we can decide if we want to get real weird with it in the last run here. I mean, all it takes is that one shot. This is the dream run here, so would hope they would pay out in just such a way. Let's take a look. So we can purposefully enrage ourselves, but the dangerous part with this, and so surface level dangerous part of the Demon Blade Leech, if you attack with it, it can make you go berserk. So that's scary on its own right. It leaves you short of a lot of potential options, especially as a spellcaster ourselves. But the subtle thing, the scary thing here, because of its subtlety, because of its sneakiness, is this riposte line right here. Because this can riposte, it means you don't have to attack. An enemy can just attack you, you riposte on them, and then it berserks you. So that's the kind of scenario that you really want to avoid, where you think you're doing everything right, you think you're accounting for the magical artifacts that you're holding, but it gets a little more complicated for sure. Yeah, it will definitely get you killed, but before that, it will be glorious. You know what? That sounds like a ringing, not indictment, opposite of indictment. Again, Brain is doing great at supplying me with words that have the opposite definition of the one that I'm going for. So, I guess good for you in that regard, Brain, but don't keep it up, please. And let us see how far this gets us through, because it does allow us to tab fight through a lot of the early encounters here. Just taking care whenever we do go berserk to potentially try and find the safest retreating route. Oh, hey, Trolloc. You'd be so happy of what I'm doing right now, ignoring my spellcasting history and just letting the rage take over. In fact, this is, if there was ever a run where a change in soundtrack was probably appropriate, it would be upon picking up a rage artifact here. Really almost should switch over to the Doom soundtrack or something like that. How much skill for min delay? I want to say 14. Yeah, it is 14, and it brings it down to a 0.6 attack delay. You know, it's actually super likely that we end up using this for a surprising amount of the kind of early to mid game here. I'm a little worried of where it takes us once fights start getting a little bit trickier. But as long as we're able to kill everything on the screen before or during her Berserk Rage, we'll be okay. So you can see how we feel about it as the run progresses here. I don't like this leech one bit, not even a little. Can I poison breath you that far? Oh, heck yeah, bud. Okay, never mind. This works out. That helps out. In fact, just made it land drowned itself a little bit, which is really depressing game. Jeez. At least I'm assuming that the eel took damage from being on dry land. Could be wrong. They could be a bit more amphibious than I'm giving them credit for, but it's definitely where my mind took it. Okie dokie. Knolls should be no problem. As long as we're able to take them one-on-one like that, make our way forward. Jeez Louise, another freaking eel, hey? Well, take my step forward, meet him head on. That looks like a special flying vault right there. Let's get a couple more identifies thrown out here. Maybe we'll find a flying potion and we can check that out right away, even though maybe on second thought it might not even be completely worth it at this stage in the game. Probably wait a little bit on that, no huge rush at the very least. But keep identifying all of our scrolls. We still haven't found teleport, so I am guessing it's this 4-stack here. You know, I will read them just to have that identified. Perfect. It didn't take us into the middle of the spiral either. That's probably for the best. And what else have we got to try out here? We have a Guardian Spirit necklace that I didn't even notice me pick up. But this is when you boot up Storm Eagle's theme for Mega Man X and just hold tab. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely that kind of run. But unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to stick with what I know today. And that sweet, sweet Poly Bridge music is going to take me into victory today. I can feel it. So we'll stick around with the usual for the time being at the very least. Also should maybe see where all our skills are at because I want to put the shield on as long as I can afford it, which it kind of looks like I can afford it. I should also note though with Safed's suggestion for music there that if anyone has favorite soundtracks, again mostly game soundtracks because they do for the most part like to or happen to be Creative Commons or under the right licensing I should say, since again I don't remember the exact distinctions between them all, but I'm happy to at least check them out and see if I eventually get around to making an entire playlist here. Jeez. Oh, that hit so hard. That was so painful. Trying to just walk up the stairs there. Oh boy. But I would appreciate, yeah, any and all suggestions just to give me ideas as well, because there are even just so many soundtracks that I totally forget how amazing they are until I start listening to them again, or for the first time, I guess. Either or. But regardless, for today, we continue on. Why is there this giant ice cave thing? I don't like it. Don't like it whatsoever. No, I guess it's just the electric eel that I have my main problem with at the moment. No, none of this is great. So many ice beasts. I guess now that we have LRD fully castable, as long as I'm not stupid about it, I should be able to just blast him with that. But still, oh me oh my. Always going to be a wee bit scared, especially with how much noise it makes, I guess. That's the downside of that plan, is we do start to call a lot of attention to ourselves at a certain point. Let's see, Petrify is a 6% chance. Failure, 26% chance of working. Herald has a wand of paralysis and 3 throwing nets. I'm feeling lucky. Let's do it. Wow, okay, we reflected one of his own throwing nets back at him. Honestly, that works just as well as what I was intending to do myself. So let's get a couple blasts. Oh, geez Louise. Oh, wait, no, do you know what? Yeah, I should just fight Herald face to face. Let's do this. I say as we get paralyzed, you son of a gun. Get out of here. Now I'm marked? This isn't fair. Oh, man. Okay. So we need to end this fight fast. And then we need to get the heck out of here before all the armies of the Nine Hells start descending upon us today. So let's take a couple turns, trying to draw attention here. One more turn. Okay, 2 more turns should do it then. Perfect. Then the question becomes, do I teleport, hoping to land by stairs, or just start running? I might start with the running strat. See how it goes. Don't like that it's a bunch of fast enemies behind me, and there we go. That's exactly what we did not want. It's running into a nasty buddy from the front here, but if we can LRD you in 1 turn, oof, not quite. Not quite. So instead, let's throw in a teleport. I think I can survive a couple turns. Max 15 damage, which is less because I have... No, Ring of Ice is not on right now. Let's maybe even put on a Ring of Ice. Why not? Then, I don't think I would need to survive like 1 more turn. So, I'm definitely going to. No doubt in my mind. Perfectly. Or perfect, I should say. We are still marked, and we have no magic. And we are kind of far from any stairs right now. Cool. Son of a gun, why are centaurs so freaking fast? Oh, okay. New plan. I think I might go down this hatch. Weirdly enough. So we're going off into the unknown, but the plan here is that maybe if I get downstairs, we have no mark status on us. We can just survive for a wee bit. Get the foothold. We can heal up, take a deep breath, and there we go. So yes, definitely a little bit scary to go downwards when you're trying your best to escape danger, but sometimes might be for the best. So we'll take these buddies into the hallway with us. Sons of guns, get out of here. Unfortunately, the second centaur showing up is what ruined everything there, because until that point, I was in melee range, I was feeling good, but as is... Oh, wow, we lost one of the centaurs. But I guess all I was going to say is how much trouble it did put us in for a moment there. It's poison breath you. What, we fail to use our own breath? Interesting. I mean, I'll take your word for a game. You know better than I, but know that you suck too. And please get confused, and please come to land as well. Both of these are kind of necessary parts of the puzzle here, as we throw ourselves into a vicious rage by simply attacking. Okie dokie. Transmutations is just about at its marker here. Same with shields, actually. So let's set a target on long blades to 14. It is just a 3-rune game, so I can probably get through it with Leech, right? It's probably going to get me killed as well. It's kind of a 50-50 flip. Either you win the whole game, or you die. One or the other. Definitely going to happen. Who knows which? Never know till you try, really. But it does, at the very least, again, help us out during the start of the journey here. Gives us a bit of early staying power. Now I'm looking for where the heck Herald is. Sir? Okay, hide around a corner to let ourselves unrage. Perfect. Herald? Harold, sir, please. Did I kill Harold in the end? I must have, actually. Maybe this is his body? Huh. Totally forget how that fight ended now. I guess we can actually quite easily tell with a quick control O here. There are in fact no annotations, so we did kill Harold, and I just completely forgot. That's kind of embarrassing, isn't it, Harold? That you're so forgettable that as soon as you're dead, you're just gone from our memories? Well, I guess it's what you deserve. I actually don't know if that's true. What's the lore on Harold? I know most of the adventurers we find down here are kind of dinks to start out with. Harold's probably the same. They're all the same.